Should you watch One Piece? One Piece is the best-selling manga of all time, with over 516 million sales. The second best-selling manga only having 70% of the sales of around 300 million. The anime is also incredibly popular, having 2.4 million members on my anime list. With all these impressive statistics, you'd be fair to assume that it stacks up against all other anime as the king. But there is one thing that scares anime enjoyers around the world, and that, my friends, is the length of One Piece. 20 years before the events of One Piece, there was a man known as Gol D. Roger, who was the captain to a crew of pirates known as, rather fittingly, the Roger Pirates. At this point in history, being a pirate wasn't as easy as it would soon become after Roger's actions. Marines constantly would hunt down pirates and attempt to claim their bounties to impose justice. Roger led his crew throughout the entirety of what is considered to be some of the most dangerous, bizarre, and unique islands in the world of One Piece, the Grand Line. The Grand Line wraps around the entire world horizontally, all centering at the Red Line, which is a massive continent that splits the world vertically. Going through the Grand Line in and of itself was no unique task. Millions of people lived in the Grand Line. However, at the very end of the Grand Line, there was an island that no pirate or marine had ever stepped foot on. Roger had uncovered the secrets of ancient engraved stones that lied within the Grand Line known as poneglyphs. A specific set of these poneglyphs would be the ones that would guide him and any potential future travelers to the final island of the Grand Line. This island being none other than Laugh Tale, which was dubbed such by Roger himself after finding information from ancient times that he described as a funny story. After this, Roger would be declared the King of the Pirates, as he was the only captain to ever make it through every island of the Grand Line. However, in a strange twist of fate, it would seem, Roger was captured by the Marines and taken to Log Town, an island within one of the 4 regular seas, known as the East Blue. Upon the execution platform, Roger said something that would change the course of history.
You want my treasure? You can have it. I left everything I gathered together at one place. Now you just have to find it.
This simple statement would launch the world into the Great Pirate Era, where pirates would become more and more common, each of them wishing to find Roger's legendary treasure, the One Piece. However, the story of One Piece starts 20 years after this moment, with our protagonist Monkey D. Luffy, a fun-loving guy with a monstrous appetite, both for adventure and whatever food he can get his hands on. Luffy is a man who is very sentimental and will-driven in all aspects of his life. His goal of being a pirate was majorly inspired by Shanks, who was a pirate who often visited the island that Luffy grew up on. Hearing Shanks tell tales of what it was like to be a pirate out at sea lit a fire deep inside of a young Luffy, where he realized that the freedom of being a pirate was something he longed for. Not just like every other pirate, sailing for money, fame, or many of the other glorious aspects that came from living life as a pirate, he wished to become king of pirates for the thrill of the adventure. Ultimately, his goal is one that is completely derived entirely upon desire and nothing more. Luffy isn't greedy or narcissistic like many pirates, he's just Luffy. When Luffy tells Shanks what he plans to do to create a pirate crew even better than his and to become the king of the pirates, Shanks offers him a challenge. He gives Luffy his signature straw hat, something very dear to him, and tells Luffy to bring it back to him whenever he becomes a great pirate. Something done amazingly well in One Piece is character interaction and the way bonds are genuinely formed in One Piece. Every character comes to trust each other and their captain slowly over time instead of just all of a sudden for no reason. The only slight exception to this is Zoro. However, Zoro is somewhat of a different case from the rest of the crew. Zoro, being one-on-one with Luffy in the very beginning, is able to clearly tell who he is and genuinely believes in Luffy's lofty ambitions of becoming the Pirate King. In fact, Zoro is the first person to actually exclaim that Luffy will become the Pirate King, and over time every other crew member comes to feel this way about Luffy as well. Despite this, the crew isn't always friendly to one another. When genuine issues arise, there will be moments where you're not sure whether or not their bond is going to be able to be recovered. However, in most instances, by the act of Luffy's sheer bond to the crew members, he will struggle through whatever it takes to get his friends back. Friendship is incredibly important in One Piece, and we see this time and time again where many pirate captains will lead based on fear or power, and their crew won't really care about them in the same way that the members of the Straw Hat Pirates care about Luffy. Ultimately, this all has to do with how Luffy is willing to get in the way of anything that is threatening those he cares about or sees as friends. However, as I mentioned in the beginning, the major issue that most people seem to have with One Piece is its length. One Piece spans a current total of 1,117 episodes with a total runtime of almost 500 hours. To put that in perspective, if you were to watch One Piece as a full-time job, it would take you a little over 3 entire months to watch it. Now, to the average anime watcher, this seems absurd. Who would ever watch that much of a show? The reason for this is because most shows are broken up into seasons, and especially newer shows that are popular consist of an average of 12 episodes per season. This means that most modern anime are only half of One Piece's first saga in length. However, if you watch One Piece over the course of a long time and don't treat it as something that you have to actively watch and don't force yourself to do your very best to absorb all of it quickly, then it can be very rewarding, because you will come to learn about these characters over a long time and will feel for them even more in those touching emotional moments. That's something I've personally come to love about One Piece. Speaking about things I love, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would love it if you would subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment saying what show you'd like me to review next. It really helps me out. In the world of One Piece, there are two major power systems, Devil Fruit and Haki. We'll take a look at Devil Fruits first. Devil Fruits are mystical yet natural fruits that are spread throughout the world of One Piece. Each Devil Fruit is unique, meaning two people can't have the same fruit. If you consume a Devil Fruit, you will keep it until you die, which is when the fruit reincarnates, replacing a nearby fruit. And since you can only have one Devil Fruit, this means you're stuck with it and its curse of losing the ability to swim until you die. I'm sure you can imagine, in a world that's mostly islands, losing your ability to swim is nearly a death sentence. Despite their rarity, there are a total of 207 Devil Fruits across the over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. When a Devil Fruit is consumed, shortly thereafter the user will become a blank human, where blank is whatever fruit they ate. For example, our main character Luffy ate the Gum Gum fruit, making him a rubber human. Now, you may be thinking, if his fruit is the gum fruit, why does he become rubber? The reason for this is the names of Devil Fruits aren't always exactly what you become. For example, the Glint Glint fruit turns you into a light human, not a glint human. Additionally, there are three main categories of Devil Fruits, the first of which being Paramecia. This is the category that the main character Luffy's Devil Fruit falls into. A Paramecia Devil Fruit is the broadest umbrella of the three, encompassing most of the abilities in One Piece. Any superhuman ability that doesn't fit the other two categories will fall into Paramecia. The second of these three categories are Zone-type Devil Fruits. These fruits give the users the ability to transform into a creature, whether it be just an average bison or Buddha himself. There is a crazy wide range of possibilities with what animal a Zone can be. On top of that, not only can you become said creature, you can also become a half-human, half-creature hybrid to enhance your power even further. Hybrid forms are usually more powerful than their full beast counterparts, however, some certain full beast forms are just so large that they can wind up being stronger in non-1v1 scenarios. The third of these three categories are Logia-type Devil Fruits. These fruits give the ability to create, control, and turn into a specific naturally occurring substance, whether it be smoke, electricity, or even plants. Logias are widely seen as the most powerful category. However, some Devil Fruits stand even stronger than most Logia fruits. The other main power system within One Piece is Haki. Haki is a mystical power that allows one to use their own spiritual energy to perform various strange techniques. The most common of the three is Armament Haki. Armament Haki allows the user to imbue their spiritual energy into a black aura that surrounds their limbs or weaponry. While this is the case, the covered object or person is far more resilient and has far higher damage output using this. Additionally, it allows the user to negate the devil fruit abilities that would usually interfere with the damage someone would cause to a person. For instance, take Luffy as an example. If someone hits Luffy regularly, even with something as powerful as bullets, they will ricochet off of his rubber body. However, if he is hit with a punch imbued with Haki, he will take the full force of this damage, as his Devil Fruit's protective abilities are negated. The second of these three is Observation Haki. Observation Haki works almost as a sort of sixth sense for those that use it, allowing them to sense where people are, their intentions, and even how powerful they are. Additionally, it has the capability to allow the user to foresee actions taken against them by sensing the intentions of the person attacking them, allowing them to dodge attacks with ease. This, however, doesn't work when the person being sensed doesn't even know what they're doing themselves. And the third one, I'll keep secret. While it's not necessarily hidden in One Piece, I think it's something more enjoyable if experienced naturally. Speaking of enjoyable experiences, clicking on this video, you probably had the assumption that most people do, that One Piece is far too long to be worth the time put into it, and that there is no way it can be good enough to warrant watching or reading it all. If what I just said is something you agree with, then I'm happy to tell you that the small amount of story and detail I went into with the power system is only a puddle in comparison to the ocean that is One Piece. Sure, it's incredibly long, there's no disguising it. However, if you're willing to commit the time, I would most certainly recommend One Piece to anyone who enjoys a good story, lovable characters, interesting battles, and rich emotional scenes. All within one arc, you will laugh, cry, get excited, and worry for the crew, all the while anticipating every moment of it. Sadly though, if you are someone who loves to binge shows or likes to finish one show before watching another, One Piece may not be the best show for you. Considering how long it will be best enjoyed as something to watch regularly, but not a ton at once. However, reading the manga, if it's something you're up to, is a far faster and just as enjoyable way to get through the story. So ultimately, my question for you is, are you going to watch One Piece?